Act Two was released in 2007. That's The Blood and the Life Eternal. The first single was Always. This is a top 20 hit in Canada, and it's the first Neverending White Lights single that has you as the vocalist. So how special was that single for you, maybe giving you that extra confidence that, hey, I can hold my own as a singer? It doesn't always have to be bringing in other singers as well.
Well, I didn't really know how to sing, and I was still trying to find my voice. So Always sounds like me kind of trying to be a little bit of a Billy Corgan, throaty, soft kind of, and I don't sing like that anymore. After 10 years of like some hard times and a lot of cigarettes and alcohol, my voice is a little bit different now. I think it sounds better, which for Act 4, I'm probably going to be singing the whole record. So I don't know if I've said that.
World premiere. There you go.
So, and I've been encouraged by a lot of fellow artists and singers that said, dude, like, you're sending me this song, you should sing it. And I feel like the time's right now for me to do that. So Act 4, I'm going to explore that a lot more. And from what I've already sort of demoed, I think my voice matches. Like, I'm not trying to do anything I can't do, I don't think, but I think it works. But Always was kind of the first time a single of mine singing was on the radio. And it was, again, another challenge to myself. Am I good enough to be on the radio as a singer too? And I mean, the thing with vocals is like, what makes a good singer anyways? Because there's all sorts of different types of singers. I mean, Bob Dylan, Billy Corgan, and, you know, Ian Curtis from Joy Division aren't, you know, they're not
your traditional beautiful voices. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I realized that all the sort of rumination and fear about what I can and can't do vocally, or what I should be doing, is really just, you know, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're expressing what you need to express in the song, you know, and it makes sense. And Always just, it was personal because I wrote it about a girl at the time that I was really interested in, and there was just something, nothing ever came of it, but there was something really special. And it was right around the time of the Junos. And I felt, okay, you know what, this is a very personal song. It was less about like existential concepts of spirituality at that point. And this was a simpler song, you know, like if you ever come back, I will let you, was the foundation of the Always lyrics in the chorus. It was this idea that I knew it wasn't going to work, but I'm always going to have this door in my heart open to this person, and she just has that power over me, or whatever you want to call it. And it didn't feel right to have anyone else sing that for some reason. So
The second single was The World is Darker. So that's Melissa Odemeyer of Hole and of the Smashing Pumpkins. A couple questions about that is she's a great bass player. So I'm curious, does she play bass at all on that song, or it's you always played the instruments and just the singers came in? And the other question is, there's a whole cover of Miss World on that album. And I'm curious if there's the connection of her who played for Hole, and then there's a whole cover as well, or is that just complete coincidence?
Well, you'd have to believe that coincidence is real, which I believe everything happens for a reason, right? So synchronicity, maybe. She did not play bass. I played bass on it. I wasn't at the time in touch with her. I'd already recorded the song, and I really loved her solo records, and I really loved what she did with Hole, because I was a huge Courtney Love fan. I had covered Miss World for a compilation, and a friend of mine said, you have to put that on the record. To me, it almost made no sense. And he's like, that's DV, you got to put that song on the record, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? And then it just kind of found its way on there. And I don't think I reached out to Courtney Love, but something prompted me, I think, because Melissa's Canadian from Montreal. There was just something going on there, and I got in touch with her, and she sang the vocals with me in Toronto. It was a really fun session. And I told her that I had recorded a whole cover. And I asked her to sing backups on it. And she refused. And she said, well, maybe it's enough that I'm singing on just one song. And it's the same girl from Hole that's, on this song, and over here you're doing the other whole cover, and there's sort of a match in that way. I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't put her on every track. So
even though I want to.
Yeah, even though I want to, I was really geeked to work with her. She's so talented and creative.
There's a song with Huckleberry Workman as well. So Warding Off the Spirits, I believe, is near the end of the album. I saw Huckleberry Workman at a venue called the Live Lounge in Ottawa that is no longer a venue. And it's just a few hundred people, maybe a couple hundred people. And he got on stage by himself. There's one guy, and he just said, what do you guys want me to play? And for, I don't know, 2 hours, it was literally
requests
every single song. Like, he finished a song and someone's like, oh, play Smoke Baby. And he's like, okay, on which instrument? And they're like, on the bass. And he plays on the bass and sings it. And then there happened to be a drum kit because of whatever band that opened. And then someone just later on was like, just play the drums. He's like, okay. So he just goes and play. Like, it was a one-man band for 2 hours, taking all requests. And I thought that maybe you guys would have this deep connection because you're both multi-instrument. I can't even say the word. I'm surprised I said it right in the intro. Multi-instrumentalists. Did you feel that connection with him as someone that's so musical?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was a huge fan of his for a few records before I met him. And I was really excited because I knew that he played the drums, and I'd read it in an interview that he loved playing the drums the most, that he said recording drums is the most fun to do in the studio, which for me, that's what I always would say, was that, like, it's always more fun to play drums on a track than anything else. So when I was pitching him on the song, we had a long phone conversation, the first time we'd ever talked, and he's like, I think we have this connection somehow. And I was like, oh my God, because I was such a huge fan. And so we talked and we talked and we talked, and he's like, man, me and you are going to be really, really good friends. We definitely have a connection. We're so similar. I haven't seen him too much over the years. He did text me last week, though, out of the complete blue, and sent me some information on somebody to maybe mix Act 4. And I'm trying to go see his show in Toronto, because Jimmy Necco, who is one of my favorite artists of all time,
he's on one of the songs, isn't he? Jimmy Necco.
Jimmy from the band Hours sings 2 songs, one on Act 1, one on Act 2. And we've toured together many times. And when I played Jimmy Hoxley's album, it was Lover Fighter.
So good.
Jimmy had a meltdown. Now Jimmy is like
a good meltdown.
Yeah, he's the stuff of legend. Jimmy's like, Stone Temple Pilots wanted him to replace Scott Weiland, and he plays with Guns N' Roses and Slash, and Velvet Revolver wanted him. And so what was I saying? Oh yeah,
about Huxley texting you. Yeah.
We're out in the woods, and I play him the Hoxy record, and he's just staring at the speakers. And I played him Ilfracombe, which is a hidden song on that record. And he heard it once, and then he says, take me to the mall. I got to buy this record. And we were like, an hour outside the city.
He needed it right then.
Stop everything. We got in the car, and we all the way to the mall, in Windsor, Ontario. And he just walked right into the store, and then he bought this record, and he just listened to it over and over and over again. And so it was Jimmy's idea a week ago to get tickets to go see Hawk. So he said, we got to go see him, And I thought, these two have never met, and they're both insane talent. So I want to get them in the same room, just to be like, imagine that much musical power. It's like
the rock radiation will be next level for sure.
Yeah, so I told Hoxy that Jimmy's going to come see him, and so Hoxy's excited, and so yeah, I'm like, well, we have to do something that night, the three of us, maybe musical, maybe not, but yeah, so yeah, Hawk and I do have a really great connection, and I think it's amazing that he's continued doing, like, his career is still going strong, and he's still putting out records, and I'm still putting them on and being excited about them and impressed.
I wish I was close enough to him that I could just call him Hawk, but maybe someday. So